What is it about a song that makes you want to listen to it again? What is it about a melody that gets it stuck in your head? And why the hell do we know what this song is from the first 3 seconds? Why do we know this? If you didn't get it, then you're about to.
That, my good sir, I will challenge you on that right now. People don't remember Billie Jean just because of that beginning drum line. People remember Billie Jean because it's one of Michael Jackson's best songs. So it doesn't really matter if you start off with a drum line or some simple melody. What matters is what happens after the first 10 seconds or the first 4 seconds. Giving our attention spans are shrinking. Hold that thought.
This melody is incredible, one of the most catchy bass lines, but what makes it so addictive? It all starts with step 1, simplicity.
Oh boy.
So if we look at all the most recognizable sounds, we can see a trend in simplicity. So as melodies become more complex, it actually becomes harder for our brains to intake that information.
Again, I grant this time, and then I challenge that notion because there is some nuance to what he's saying. Clearly, with social media being shrunken down into clips, a la IG Reels or TikToks or whatever, people's attention spans are quite small these days. Now, that's not an insult. We all know that people are digesting content at a smaller pace or a smaller amount. So yeah, people will remember small things. And now he did make up a good point about the Nokia and the Dell theme or their jingle. Yes, you do know them from that, but it has to be played at a multitude amount of times so that it is rememberable.
Really simply, it doesn't require any effort for us to remember it. And then I guess the other side of this point is that our brains don't actually remember everything that we hear exactly.
What?
Our brains go through a process of sort of filtering out all of that excess information and just remembering the core ideas. With Billie Jean, I personally can't remember all of the lyrics, but I can remember that bass line, I can remember the drums, all of...
My guy, I'm just gonna say it like this right here. I don't think Billie Jean really resonates with you altogether. And that's the main reason why it doesn't resonate with you as far as the lyrical content. Let's keep it 1000. I'm not going to go there, but I'm pretty sure you remember other songs if they resonate in your mind. Or perhaps you're just not into lyrics altogether and you're just into production. Now, there are songs out there that I kid you not, I much rather, well, modern day music, I much rather remember the beat over the lyrical content. Yeah, you do have a point there.
The core, most simplistic ideas are the ones that are going to get stuck in your head. So when we're writing melodies, especially in the beginner stages, we want to strip back all of the stuff that would be forgotten anyway.
Give or take, I do agree with that.
Let me show you this. I'm going to start with this more complex bass line, and then we're going to compare that to a more simple one afterwards.
Bruh, to be honest, that bass line is fire. People aren't that choosy when it comes to how your bass line goes or if the melody is crazy or not. And I say this, you know, I'm not trying to use the word crazy to oversimplify, but dude, and people don't care if your bass line is too complex. I would argue that people like a complex bass line over something simple as hell. I'm gonna keep it real with you. If that wasn't the case, then why is Skrillex a thing? Also, if that wasn't the case, then why is UK drill such a big deal? And that has some pretty complex bass lines.
So that was quite a lot to listen to. It's not a bad bass line. It's demanding a lot of attention, and I felt like I actually had to bring down the volume of everything else just so I can give it enough space, because otherwise it feels like it's clashing with everything. But
well, I mean, that's mixing 101. I mean, you're not supposed to have your melody so loud. If your bass line is the most demanding part of your track, then yes, you should turn down your melodies. That's just common sense when it comes to mixing. And I get it, because there's so many people on here that are mixing gurus and they give some of the most off-kiltered advice, but space is one of the things that doesn't get highlighted enough on mixing channels or mastering channels. Speaking of mastering, our sponsor of this video is Lander. Lander is a one-stop shop where you can create, collaborate, distribute, and promote your music. I use Lander all the time for their mastering service because their AI is probably second to none. It's the only AI that has neural networking, meaning that it gather enough information to where I can get the most accurate masters. I've used Lander to master all of my music that I have on Spotify, Apple Music, and other streaming platforms. They have recently added Lander Studio, which is $12.50 a month. And then they have the Pro version for $25 a month, and then Single Master for $10 a month. If you're skeptical about Lander's service, but you still want to try it out, you can try it out for free. The link will be in the description box, and I have a code on the screen right now where you can get 30% off. Now back to the bullshit.
Most importantly here is that as soon as I hit pause on that song there, the bassline melody actually just completely evaporates from my brain.
My guy, you're too damn young to forget stuff that quickly. Come on now.
Sounds like because it is so complex. Compared to the simple melody,
now I ain't gonna lie to you, that bass line is pretty dope. You just got rid of all the extra stuff. It does stick, it does gel, so I do agree with you there. I don't think the original one was any worse than this one or any better or whatnot. I don't know at this time, but I'm just saying, they both sound good.
One is a lot easier to digest, really simple, just a few notes. The actual rhythm is staying the exact same the whole way through, and the simplicity makes it a lot more memorable. When I hit pause, I remember that groove that it's locked in
for you.
Too nicely. So in this case, I really prefer the simplistic bass line over the more complex one. But if you disagree, let me know why in the comments below and we can discuss that as well.
Well, I'm letting you know I disagree right now.
All, it helps to think about when someone is listening to your song, what about it is the thing that they're going to remember. Now
I will argue that most people remember a song because it's good, not because how simple it is. Let's be real. We can't really compare the Nokia theme to Billie Jean. I'm just saying, bruh, it's kind of disrespectful. I'm just saying, bruh, we can't have that, man. That ain't cool. Calm down. I'm gonna calm down. Let me calm down real quick.
Step 2 is repetition. Humans love to recognize patterns in music.
Oh boy. I feel in a way that he's trying to set people up for AI. I mean, we've been talking about AI for quite a while, and you know, one of the main things that people said in my AI reviews for like Melody Sauce, sometimes even Scalar, which does a damn good job of creating melodies, is just more hands-on, while Melody Sauce does generate melodies from thin air, and we've tested that out. People can identify with whatever they want to identify, but you just can't call what's going to be the greatest hit. I mean, we've been doing this for, I don't know, eons now. Just people remember something because it is tied into something. That's why the music video exists. That's why YouTube exists, and why your video is going viral right now, because this is a very compelling argument that even I had to weigh in on.
Take away that familiar pattern, then it's actually really hard for our brains to latch onto or really connect with a musical idea. And something that I relate with highly is if someone introduces themselves to you, they say their name, you hear it once, unless you make an effort to remember it. Whoosh.
And I just think that's just the way communication works. That's why there are certain people in this world that excel at certain things, while there's other people that, you know, they don't excel as well because they don't take that little bit of effort. I mean, it's just about using your brain.
To do is strike this balance between repetition and variation. This is another one of my tracks. Let's check this out. So the main ingredient of this track is really the bass line here, and it is very repetitive, but it's the slight variation that stops it from becoming boring really quickly. Let's have another listen and try to spot the difference between these two clips.
I was waiting for you to say that. Homie, them bass lines that you make, they be slapping, bruh. I'm just saying, dog, like, it's a great conversation to have, and a lot of people do that, but truth be told, there are plenty of people that just jump into music. Like, if I was to use myself as a prime example, when I started out making music, it was very simple. However, it wasn't good. Like, people knew it wasn't good because you can have something really simple and then melodically it just does not gel. Like, that's why music theory is such a complex thing, because yeah, we can talk about simplifying everything, and if the first little beginner type music producer jumps in there, we're like, yeah, well, I should just go ahead and make really simple stuff, and it might not work. But I do agree with you on certain things. I remember, you know, D4L's Laffy Taffy, and I hated that song, but a lot of people enjoyed that song. And then another song that I hated during the early 2000s was In My White Tee. And I know, franchise boys, hey, look, hold on, man, just hear me out. Those are my peoples, by the way. I didn't like that song at first, but it was simple, but at the same time, it was very catchy, and it kind of holds to his theory at hand. I don't know. I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comment section. How do you feel about, you know, simplifying your tracks? Do you think what he's saying has some legitimacy? I think this is a compelling discussion, and I do applaud him. I give him his flowers for this video because this is only a second video, and I think he's already levels above a lot of content creators, including myself, and I just like recognizing the people for their hard work and their effort. And this music is dope as hell. You know me, I love a little bit of house music, and electronic music is in my bones.